What if I told you that the confusion you're feeling isn't really about her at all? That the warm messages followed by cold silence, the enthusiasm that vanishes overnight, the unpredictable rhythms of affection and detachment, they're not signs of emotional chaos. They're signals. Signals about you, about your response, about your ability to remain composed when the emotional current pulls away from you. Most men misread this dynamic. They think they're being tested through words, through clarity, through dialogue. But the reality is far more subtle. You're being tested in the silence, in the shift, in how you handle being thrown off center. Let's be honest. At the beginning, things always feel effortless. She's responsive, playful, invested. She laughs at your jokes, shares music with meaning, sends selfies without you asking. And then, without warning, she withdraws. The spark flickers, the replies slow, and the connection you were sure of feels like it never existed. Now, you're pacing mentally, reviewing every text, overanalyzing the last call, wondering if you said something wrong. But you missed the real message. This shift isn't about a mistake. It's about momentum, hers and yours. See, emotional withdrawal is not confusion. It's calibration. She is adjusting the pace to see if you follow, fall, or stand firm. The average man follows. He leans in harder, increases his attention, texts longer, calls more. He begins trying to win back a version of her that no longer exists in the present. But that strategy does one thing. It confirms his dependence. What she was subtly watching for was not how quickly you could chase her fading interest, but how deeply you could stay rooted without it. Let me be very clear. Women don't withhold affection to be cruel. They withdraw attention to gauge how emotionally self-sufficient you are. It's not manipulation. It's subconscious regulation. They're not playing with your emotions. They're watching how well you manage them on your own. There's a truth here that most men never grasp. She doesn't need your reassurance. She needs evidence that you don't need hers, that you're centered regardless of her actions. When she sees that a change in her tempo doesn't disrupt yours, she doesn't feel dismissed. She feels safer. Because stability, not passion, not wit, not charm, is what triggers lasting desire. This isn't a game, it's emotional evolution. And if you fail to recognize the difference, you'll keep misreading silence as rejection, distance as disrespect, and unpredictability as betrayal, when in truth, they are mirrors. So, what do you do? First, stop treating unpredictability like a crisis. Most men crumble the moment rhythm changes. Instead, treat it like a filter. Let her space be a space for you to reflect, not react. Second, stop personalizing distance. Not every withdrawal is about you. Sometimes it's about her need to breathe, reset, or feel her own presence. Give it freely. Give it without punishment. Give it without fear. Third, stop trying to match her behavior. Pulling away because she did, that's imitation, not strength. The goal isn't to mirror her, it's to maintain your own clarity, regardless of her oscillations. The truth is, women can feel when your energy starts orbiting around theirs. They can sense when your calm starts depending on their consistency. That's when the dynamic breaks. In today's dating landscape, emotional leverage has replaced mutual effort. Everyone's taught to gain control before giving connection. But while most men either overcompensate or disengage completely, the rare few remain still. Not cold, not detached, present, grounded. They don't chase, they don't flinch, they don't overcommunicate to fix what doesn't need fixing. And ironically, they are the ones women return to. Not because they proved their worth, but because they revealed their stability. Let's be real, unpredictability creates intensity. But intensity without grounding creates instability. And instability exhausts connection. So yes, she might step back. She might test the emotional current. She might create tension, not maliciously, but to feel the difference between a man who depends on her signals and a man who doesn't flinch when the signal changes. Here's what separates the grounded from the reactive. The grounded man observes without reacting. He speaks without needing to be heard. He sets boundaries without forcing them. And most importantly, he understands that his peace is not negotiable. So the next time her pattern changes and you feel the pull to fix, chase, or decode, don't. That moment of silence isn't a demand. It's an invitation to step into emotional leadership, to show, without showing off, that your attention is earned, not assumed. And if you do respond, let it be with calm intention, not out of fear, not out of need, but from clarity. I move best where clarity lives. If that's not where you are, I wish you well. Not to close the door with pride, but to leave it open without compromising your peace. Understand this. She doesn't remember the man who texted the most. She remembers the one who stayed still when everything got loud. You don't gain influence by trying harder. You gain it by needing less. That's not ego. That's leadership. And that's what turns mixed signals into clear decisions. Stay composed. Stay grounded. And most of all, stay committed to never losing yourself while trying to hold on to someone else.